Ryan, do you have a picture on YouTube?
Hold on here. Let me. Usually takes an extra minute. The screen is there, so yeah.
Well, I don't see any picture. I just see black on my browser. We have the Cat and Todd logo up. Could someone check YouTube for a picture?
You just have the title. It's just the title card that's there.
That's fine. I just can't see it for some reason
Yep.
on the browser.
Yep, it's there.
Hello, hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. Oh, I'm all jazzed up right now. Can you tell? You haven't seen me all day.
No, you've been gone.
I've been gone. And I'll tell everybody where I was because I'm jazzed up beyond belief. I went to BravoCon today. I have never in my life seen
Do
anything
people know
like
what
it.
that is even?
Of course, people know what BravoCon is.
I'm the only one.
You must be the only one. It is where all the stars of Bravo Television are in one place. It's a convention here in Las Vegas. I've never seen anything like it. I've never experienced anything like it. And I will tell you now that I haven't seen a Real Housewife episode in years because I used to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when it was on. And there was a housewife on there. And Camille Grammer. She was at the time Kelsey Grammer's wife, and then they got a divorce during the time that she was on the show. She was so good on that show. She was so good at being bad. And when she left the show, I never watched it again. And when I met her, not today, a couple of years ago, we went out to dinner, and I said, I stopped watching the show when you were on it. And I really began to realize what soap opera fans feel like about us. Because
Taking away the story.
well, because you feel like you know them when they're in your house all the time on a television show. And, so today I was just blown away because it was all the stars, not just all the Real Housewives, but they were, of course.
Describe where you were.
Okay,
no one knows
so-
what you saw.
Okay, so I saw all these amazing housewives, and they were so glamorous.
Let me do a reporter thing. Where were you?
I don't know, convention center somewhere downtown in Las Vegas.
All right, so somewhere in Vegas.
It was the Caesars.
was
It's
it?
the new Caesars Forum Convention Center.
And how big is the space?
Well, I don't know. There were thousands of fans there, so the space is massive.
Massive.
It's massive. It's the new convention
and
center.
it looks like an autograph show? Or what does it
No,
look
no,
like?
no. You don't get
So
to
what does it
touch
look
them
like?
or see them. There's you see them, and they're on the stage, and there's a question and answer that happens. And
Who asked the questions?
oh well, anybody from Andy
Did you
Cohen.
yell out of the audience?
No, it was just really amazing.
No, I'm trying to make people understand what you did.
They know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, nobody's been there, but you.
It doesn't matter. If you've ever been to a fan event, you take that and multiply it by 1 million, and that's BravoCon. You've never seen anything like it. It put
Well,
me
that
in,
was why I was trying to get you to
it put me
describe
in
it.
such a good mood just to be there. I'm so impressed with the way that they treat their fans. I will never get over it. They are the new movie stars. Hollywood
now,
is
this
dead.
the way that they treat?
The BravoCon is. I mean, like, I'm not kidding. I was very impressed.
Is this the way they treat the fans that have $1,200, or do they treat the $600 fans the same way as the $1,200 fans?
Oh no, they were so nice to everybody. I watched
But
them.
it's $1,200 a ticket, right?
It was like anywhere from I think 700 to up. But it was incredible.
Beyond 1,200?
That I don't know. Here's my little ticket right here. I didn't pay to get in because a company that I am invested in had a booth there, and there's like 7 or 8 housewives also invested in the same company. So I actually have met them before, but I'd never seen them in this full glam thing. They were dressed like the old-time movie stars, like what we talk about on this show. They were that glamorous. They were so beautiful. The clothes were so spectacular. And now I understand. But I always said nobody wants to when you meet a star that you really love, no matter what it's a star of, what they're a star of. You don't want to see your neighbor. You want to see them made up. You want to see them glammed up.
This was proven in 1926.
Yeah, but people.
The movie industry figured
but that's
that
all
out.
changed long ago.
No, but the movie industry figured out long ago that really that's what people want, as you say.
Right, but that's
They
all
want
fallen
their
to the
stars
wayside.
to be stars, and
They
'cause,
did.
they know what everybody else looks like at home in their
Yeah, it just
robe.
made me so happy to see thousands of people so happy. Every housewife had to have like 3 bodyguards because when they were moved from one stage to another stage, because it was massive, they were clawed at, chased, screamed. It was
Well,
like
that
the
doesn't
Beatles.
sound fun.
Oh, it was great fun. It was awesome.
for them.
Yes, who did?
Oh, as long as no one gets hurt, I guess. It's
No,
good.
they had 3 major bodyguards each, and it was like seeing thousands of people in hypnosis and happy, and it put me in such a good mood, and I learned so much there today, and I had so much fun, and I met for the first time in our booth. She came over to do a personal appearance. Gretchen, who's on The Real Housewives of Orange County. I was blown away by her, just blown away. She was so nice to everybody. This is a 3-day event of pure work, and not one of them was grouchy or looked out. There was not a hair out of place. No, I understand they have a team of people working on them to make them look like this, but everybody gets tired. A 3-day event of 12-hour days
A
plus.
3-hour tour.
Exactly.
The weather started getting rough.
I
The
loved
tiny
it.
ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the faithful crew,
The minnow would be lost.
The minnow would be lost.
Yep. Well, anyway, so I just had a great day, and I needed one. Because everybody knows that the Earth is in a gravitational magnetic pull, and people are seeing all this, the northern
sun
lights.
is putting out electromagnetic waves higher than normal. It is cause the electromagnetic interference of the Earth's atmosphere. The Earth is not, it's just getting bombarded with more rays from the sun, and that causes the aurora borealis to be seen all the way in Las Vegas. Impressive.
Oh, I know. And people have been
pretty
sending
cool.
pictures. I put
But everybody's trying to blame everything on it. Like, oh, that's why everything's messed up. By the way, I need to
believe
turn those
it.
off. I don't know why those
Yeah,
are. Tell me-
I believe it because
I don't know
I
why
have
those
been in. Everybody I know has been in an out of sorts place, extra anxious, burst of energy, not sleeping well, crazy dreams, ringing in the ears. There's been all kinds of things. My electronics have been. I'm going to take this off. My electronics have been acting out like crazy, and I think it all has something to do with it. It has to.
Much better.
What happened?
Well, those lights are on for some reason.
I did feel like I was under some bright.
It was very bright.
I didn't do it. I swear. That's
That
what
was-
I
yeah.
felt like I was being
Confess.
interrogated.
Confess.
Anyway, I know I wasted a lot of time with
You
that,
didn't
but
turn
I
your
just
light on over there, did you,
Oh,
sir?
But-
I'm okay. I'm doing the soft focus.
You're going to be in the shadows?
I just really am such a good mood from that whole thing. And then tomorrow is the last day. Had I known it was 3 days, I would have gone tomorrow instead of today because it's pouring rain.
Why don't you go tomorrow?
No,
Or have you seen enough?
No, I've seen enough. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
so
lot.
you-
It's
you-
overwhelming to the
But you
senses.
did. If you can do a convention in hours, that's impressive. Because like the conventions I go to, you could never see it all in a day ever.
Oh no, I didn't. I stayed pretty much in our booth. I walked over to see, I walked over to the stage area because you would hear what sounded like an audio. What's it called? The stadium full of people at the Super Bowl when they roar.
Yeah.
That was the sound that people made
When the
every
people would
time.
show up.
Well, it was just all the time. It just made me happy to see people, and I talked to people too. I said, "So where'd you come from? Was it worth it?" Everybody was just, "Oh my gosh, this is the best time I've ever had in my
So
life."
I have some pre-show news as well. I mean,
Okay.
you're aware of this, but our group is not aware. So as a lot of you guys know, I collect high-end movie cameras and lenses from famous motion pictures. And one of the cameras that I consider to be an important part of the collection is the Todd AO camera that was used on Around the World in 80 Days, Oklahoma. We really pretty much thought it had not been used on a lot of other things up until Roy Wagner the other day found something cool. So I'm going to show you. There's the picture of the camera
Oh,
that
that
we
camera is
have.
so crazy.
is-
How many of those were made?
There's two cameras that were made, and there were two of those lenses, but people have only seen one, and that's the only lens that's either survived or whatever. But here is the camera right there on the set
Oh.
of 2001:
Space Odyssey.
So this is the scene where Dave goes, "Hal, open the pod bay door." "I'm sorry, I can't do that, Dave."
Oh yeah.
"Hal, open the pod bay door." "I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that. You would jeopardize the mission." Anyway, very famous scene, very famous room, and you can see there's the bug eye lens with that. Now, the other thing that's very famous is this scene. This is the camera on the floor of the giant wheel set where the guy's jogging around in while the set is rotating. So, for example, I don't know if you remember the scene, but he's jogging. It's like this giant Ferris wheel. Remember, the ship was a big wheel, and in order to maintain gravity, it was constantly turning. And there's a scene in the early part of the movie where he's jogging, and this wheel is turning, and he's running as this is turning. But what that was actually like a Ferris wheel carousel, and he was like a rodent in their little cage when they run in their little circles. And so that there is the camera sitting on wheels. And as he's running, the set is turning, the camera's on wheels, so it's staying in place, and he's jogging in place. So, it's sometimes, I never knew how they did that shot till I saw all these pictures. Now you can now see, there's some beautiful pictures of this massive set that was built in England for Kubrick, and it's just unreal. Giant Ferris wheel set with all the high-tech cryogenic chambers for the passengers that were on the ship. It's just for the time, it was so far ahead of its time. Lucas gets a lot of credit, obviously with Star Wars and everything, but long before Lucas was doing Star Wars, Kubrick was doing 2001. It was, man, some of these shots were amazing. And so, anyway, it's just such a cool thing to have that piece
camera.
of history.
Yeah, and I love seeing it in all the pictures of these, incredible movies. I mean,
Well, I mean,
it's more provenance, and it's just thrilling.
in terms of, so we talk a lot about collecting here, obviously. Now, I'm never going to sell that camera, but the fact that we just connected it to that movie, turned up the value of that camera substantially.
Yeah.
And the lens in particular, because there is nothing from 2001. Most of the cameras that were on that set were destroyed. They were Panavision cameras, and they destroyed them. Panavision did. And Kubrick has some stuff, but he also destroyed a lot of the sets and a lot of the props because he didn't want anybody else using them in another movie like Hollywood was so famous for doing.
Yeah.
So he wanted that to be his masterpiece, of which I believe that it truly was. So anyway, I just thought, as a collector, sometimes you'll have something and you'll think, oh, I have this, and it's a cool thing, and it was used here and here. And here we are 3 years later, and thanks to Roy and some research he was doing, he stumbled on that. And so it has an additional piece of life. Does anybody have a comment about any of that now that we're chit-chatting about this?
Are loving your knowledge on cameras and on the classic film stuff. A lot of
Oh, my
She
moon.
always, everybody likes that.
I
thing.
know. I have been trying to find
More
the
of
source for this necklace because every time I go out, people they want it. I'd buy it now. And I would love to be able to find it. I so far haven't been able to locate it. I have done everything you can imagine to
You
locate
should tell
it.
people it has magical powers.
Well, I think it does because when I wear it, I'm always in a really good mood.
let me do. I'll do a bit of history on it. So this piece was actually found recently in a cave in Egypt. There was a tomb. As you know, there are 3 pyramids in Egypt, and everybody pays attention to the giant one. But recently, they found a secret chamber in one of those 3rd pyramids, and in there they found this piece. And so this thing has potentially, this was left over by the aliens that helped the Egyptians build the pyramids. And so the reason, a lot of you ask me this question all the time. I mean, I go on the road sometimes with Kat, or I'm at a show with Kat, and they're like, how does she know? How does she do that? How did she? And I get that all the time, and I usually say I have no idea. But now I can tell you that part of the powers are from this necklace right here. Go back to the necklace. Buck. Hello, Buck. Buck. Go
He's
back to
been
Kat.
hypnotized by the aliens.
Buck. There you go. So that necklace
He's going
was
down the rabbit
located in
hole of
this
something.
tomb.
It's a big
and
necklace, isn't
potentially
it?
the aliens, but that is part of her superpower thing. So it's bad enough
Yeah.
when she doesn't have that on, but when she has it on, really watch out.
Well, I will
That's all
just
I
say
can
that
say.
I saw it, I loved it, I bought
you
it,
believe
and now
that?
I've been trying to.
Did you guys buy into that
No,
story?
not even
Well,
a little.
someone said
How
that
come
you
you
could
don't
sell
buy that
ice to Eskimos, so I would say
Did they
that-
like the story, or
I think
just
a lot of people, yes, you were getting a lot of, they want you to go on QVC actually and sell
okay?
these.
There you go. I could sell them on QVC.
I
See?
love this
You
necklace.
could actually.
So
Those are
thank
cool.
you for loving on it because I love it. I saw it, I bought it, and ever since then, everyone has wanted to buy it off my
remember the
neck.
movie Wolf of Wall Street?
Yep.
And at the end of the movie, he's gone through hell, of course, life with drugs and all this stuff. And at the end of the movie, he's teaching a seminar. And he has a pen in his hand. And he walks to the audience. He says, sell me this pen. And he hands it to the guy in the audience, and everybody's like a deer caught in the headlights. But that's kind of it's not a bad thing. When I was a kid, I used to love to go off on tangents like that. But it's a creative wander, where you can make a story. We used to tell stories like that long before we had all the technology we have today. We used to go around and tell stories, like campfire stories. Did you ever do the campfire story? Campfire stories were a blast. You'd sit around and you'd start telling a story like that. Then I would just stop and you take over.
Yeah, no, I never did anything like that.
Well,
I didn't.
that explains everything.
Anyway, I'm excited about tonight's show because I think that I don't have, again, like last week, was it last week?
Yep.
Everything meshes into the next week. I have no idea what the show is about tonight or what's on it. So last week I had so much
We're
fun doing
starting
that.
off with something that's sitting next to you. Go to Kat's camera.
Right here.
So she's got something next to her there.
Show and tell.
No, well, it is a show and tell, but
I love
this
this.
is connected to the clip we're going to run.
Do you realize this has been sitting next to me and I didn't even notice it until you just pointed it out?
There
So
you go.
this is the
Go ahead.
This is a candelabra that belonged to Liberace.
Exactly.
And
wonderful.
It's wonderful.
Hi, Demi.
I,
It's
l- I
Lane.
actually really liked Liberace. I did know him, and I went to his house for dinner in Palm Springs one
Well,
night.
let's come back to that and run the clip.
But so candelabra is this
We're
very
going to do
exciting.
the clip and then we're going to tell a story.
Oh, there's a clip. You see?
And we tell Liberace
Okay,
stories.
let's do it.
I mean, the good.
There is one favor I'd like to ask you.
What's
Could you
that?
play for me?
The piano.
There is one favor I'd like to ask you.
What's
Could you
that?
play for me?
The piano?
Uh-huh.
It's not exactly what I had in mind, but I'd love to.
All right. I love it. Ah, I have the most expensive accompanist in show business.
Not really. I work for the government at a percentage.
Me too.
What would you like to do, Debbie?
Well, let's see. What I'd like to do is what we rehearsed. Ready?
Okay.
Together at last. Together forever. We're tying a knot. They never can sever. I don't need sunshine now to turn my skies to blue. I don't need anything but you. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
wrap me around
Did,
your cute little finger.
devil, you made life a song.
You made me the singer.
Oh, and what's that bathtub tune?
I always boo.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-boo.
I don't need anything but you.
You know what, Lee?
What?
Yesterday was plain awful.
You can say that again,
I will. Yesterday was plain awful.
but that's
Not now, that's then.
You're poor as a mouse.
No,
I'm richer than Midas.
but nothing on earth, no, could ever divide us. And if tomorrow I'm an apple seller too, what is it?
I don't need anything but you.
Oh.
How am I doing, Debbie?
Oh,
Wow, look
Lee,
at that
just
dress.
fine. That's fine.
Know where this music is from?
No, Lee, where is this music from?
It's from Annie, the new musical all about the little orphan Annie.
You're kidding. And Daddy Warbucks?
Yeah, weren't they some?
They were wonderful. Oh, leaping lizards, let's go. Oh. Daddy needed his diamonds.
Annie needed her mop. We both needed each other, or else we'd go kerplop.
I used to need work to fill every hour. I needed that feeling of power. Now every other need has disappeared from view. I don't need anything but you. I don't need anything, anything, anything. I don't need anything but
Well, that's so cute.
Where was that? The Riviera?
No, that's a big old theater somewhere. I mean,
Oh, so where Elvis played.
okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense because that's not where she obviously would normally play.
Well, that was incredible on so many levels. And I think what surprises me the most was what a good dancer that he was. He was talking, he was singing, he was making every step. He was completely in step with Debbie. And I mean, that's hard to do if I didn't know him
Well,
as a
you
dancer.
wouldn't want to have to. It's just like anything else. You don't want to dance or sing with anybody way better than you.
But
He
he
held
was
his
on
own.
every single.
No, he held his own
He was
nicely.
very good. I
mean,
wonder
she
how
was-
he learned
they
to
were,
dance.
They were really, good friends, and so she was. I mean, they picked some pretty simple time step stuff. It wasn't like complicated.
You know
But
what?
he
It's all
pulled it off.
complicated to me because I'm not a dancer. That was
Their
fantastic.
harmonies were great,
Yes.
right? Cute little harmonies. And he's not like exactly a brilliant singer, compared to some of the great singers. He's got that funny kind of voice. He sings back up in here. But on, obviously on key and everything else. But what a cute little number. And that whole, imagine this too. I was watching it carefully. I was thinking to myself, now, they didn't have a ton of time to rehearse that.
No.
I mean, so all those lyrics are custom. All that music is a custom medley. So you have to memorize all that just for a little one-off thing that they were doing for this special.
Yeah, they were excellent together, but I was very impressed with him because that to me is, that's like the one thing I cannot do. I can't dance. And so when I see somebody that's not known as a dancer keeping time step with like that,
That's where that song comes from. I won't dance.
Don't ask me.
I won't dance. Don't ask me.
Yep.
Won't dance, my friend. with you.
What you got there? Another
Okay,
show and tell.
close-up camera, I think.
Okay.
Here we have
There you go.
a cool picture backstage with my mother and Liberace. And I'm going to read this to you. It's in his handwriting. Very nice, fancy script. It says, "To Debbie, thanks for teaching me how to fly.
Aw.
I love you, Liberace." And he drew a little picture of his piano in the corner here, which he did very often. It was kind of like the rabbit for Jimmy Stewart. But I think what he's referring to here, this is actually taken around the same time of the thing you just saw. So I think he's really talking, I'm sure she helped him with those dance moves and all that. Not given that it's not exactly his forte.
When was that show, more or less, do you think?
Do you know what the
do you
day
know,
was?
Seth? 78.
78.
Yeah, and Frank Milena, when Liberace started to make money, he took dance lessons. He thought it could help the act. Saw that in a biography from the 70s. That explains it, but still, you have to have a certain talent
Well, you
to
can
learn.
tell by the way, if you watch him when he's got the baton, you see him trying to get the time step and baton move in sync. That's tricky.
For me, singing, dancing, and talking all at once is unbelievable. Anyway, that was great.
What does that plaque say?
Let me look. It says, oh my gosh.
Because
Oh.
she got this from him and then later
Oh.
had that
I have-
base made
wait,
for it.
I have to take a picture of it
They
and then
gave
read
that
it.
to her, the Liberace
Let me take a pic. This is
his
how I
estate.
have to do things sometimes because,
Well, she kept asking for one.
hold on, let me take a picture of it, then I'll blow it up. You see how you do? This is what happens when you can't read something because it's in a mirror, so it's really kind of tough. Here we go.
This is a cool picture too, but I don't. you should have scanned this. Did you scan it?
1994.
Yeah.
For achievement in the world of entertainment and
Maybe man the camera and zoom
outstanding
in on it.
contribution
The close-up camera.
to the, I don't know, but it was a Liberace Legend Award to Debbie Reynolds. So that's a Liberace Legend Award.
Okay, so look at this picture. This is super rare. You're going to zoom in all the way on this.
Do you know, I thought that was me for a
Check
second.
keep and go closer. There you go.
'Cause that's my natural hair
look
color.
who's in that picture.
Yeah.
That's Carrie here in Vegas with Liberace, kind of posing with a big grin. But more interesting is the back. To Carrie, love Liberace with the piano, and I think that says 71. So she's 14 years old. So this is when we were performing here in Vegas. This is when Carrie and I were doing the show here in Vegas. That's, I think, that maybe even the Desert Inn curtain. So I hadn't seen this. Where was this?
Upstairs.
But where? Was it in that display case?
Well, we put it in there, but yes.
I mean, did you put it in here? Oh, you put it in here. Oh, that explains it, because I don't remember an acrylic thing like this. Did you scan both sides of this yet? Okay, just checking. We have to keep the archives in order. Anyway, that is a cute little picture of Carrie with Liberace. Don't you agree?
Did you ever meet his brother George? Mike Jeffers just brought that up. And
I did not.
Yeah.
Not that I remember at any rate. I mean, I remember meeting his mother one time at their house. And
That
I
your
mean,
mother played in the movie Behind
right,
the
but this
Candelabra.
is long before anybody dreamed of that.
Yeah.
This was when his mother was alive.
Did she have that thick accent?
Very Jewish.
Yeah, but
I
no,
was
Russian too. What,
well,
right?
Russian Jew. I
Yeah.
was very used to all that Polish Jew. But it's
Po-
really the
Polish, yeah.
same heavy. Nobody is home. I mean, Harry Carl's mother had a very similar heavy accent. My grandmother on Eddie's side had the Russian Jew accent. I mean, everybody had this heavy accent. I mean, we were by this point, we were used to that.
Your mom nailed that part so unbelievable. If you
Well,
haven't seen
she-
it, Behind the Candelabra was an HBO movie. It was so good, and your mom was so good in it.
Must warn you though, as good as it is, and it is worth watching, it is R-rated. I mean,
Yeah,
there
no,
are,
it
there
is,
are some
yeah.
shocking sex scenes in here. And by the way, those have been edited.
Oh, I know.
The
I remember
original-
the
ori-
European version that
Well,
you saw.
Did you see it? Well,
Oh, no,
saw-
I was on the road when you went to
Well,
see
so
that.
I was called to go to the screening with Carrie and my mom, and we went down. There were maybe 20 people in the screening room, and everybody's, gets to these sex scenes, and they were far more graphic.
Yeah.
It was so graphic that I found myself adjusting my seat.
Well, you're in there with your mother. I mean,
Yeah, but it was like, even Carrie was like, whoa!
was she?
Yeah, she was sitting next to me, and literally when this one particular mounting scene, she goes,
And he-
whoa!
And ladies and gentlemen, there he goes.
Well, I mean, that's not. I mean, what
my
else am
gosh.
Well, I could have said a lot of other things.
Well,
that
thankfully
was
you
very
did not.
Politically correct.
reasonable.
That was good.
At any rate, all I'm suggesting is if you're uncomfortable with that, you may want to keep the fast forward
I
button.
actually love movies where they leave more to the
Oh,
imagination.
for sure.
I love when they drift off the bed scene with a kiss and go to the hand. It's like, I'm good with that. you
Right.
know?
We don't need to hear all the other sound effects.
Yeah,
and
no,
whatnots.
I don't care what the movie is. I feel
I
that
was
way.
looking, I don't know why, but there's a Playboy magazine on the piano right now. I don't know if you noticed that.
That is my, I have a
No, I know you have them, but I don't know what
know,
it
but
was
I
doing.
have a penchant for vintage Playboy magazines because, well, I love reading the articles. I love the
That's
art.
what I always say.
That's what, yeah, of course. But I also love all the old ads from the 50s
No, they're
and
great.
the 60s. Yeah. And
But the pictures are classy.
oh, they are. It's art. It was just beautiful. And then as it went on and on, you would see feathers. And, you didn't see feathers back in the old days. Now the feathers
now
came
there are
to
no
play.
feathers.
Is Playboy still in print?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen one, but I do have. I own hundreds and hundreds of vintage Playboys from
So
the 50s
the last
and
thing in our
60s.
sequence here
Yeah.
is this picture. We could do close-up camera. It'll show up there. I'll just tilt it. So there she is holding this very item.
That's in his house, in the museum.
Where are we?
That's in Vegas, here in Vegas. That's in his house here in
Okay,
Vegas.
so she's saying that's in here in Vegas, in her house.
No, in Lee Baracci's house.
Oh, she's saying that's at his house. How do you know such things?
Because
I don't
I
know
did
that.
the research.
What is it?
I researched it.
You researched it. It wasn't just her feathers that she's wearing.
No, those are your mother's feathers.
Yeah.
Real
Well, we're going to
feathers.
talk about feathers.
No, real feathers.
Well, those are real.
By the way, did you put the chickens away today? Because I
And
wasn't
notice
here.
she's wearing the good
No, I
earrings
have to
here.
go close up
Did
the
you
camera.
notice this? Go to the close-up camera again. Yeah.
Okay.
She's got the good earrings on. Those
Yeah.
are her really good earrings.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the end of our Liberace segment. We hope you enjoyed that little segue.
I did.
Oh, wait, I forgot. We have these.
Oh, yeah.
One more item.
Are those the shoes?
These are the shoes she's wearing in that little dance number that you just
Look,
saw.
they are like a
Close-up camera.
pair of doll shoes. They're so tiny.
So
Her feet were so small.
they are very teeny tiny. And these haven't been used that much, so I bet they were just used for maybe that one
Yeah,
show.
they have stage scuffing on the front of the heel.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not
Yeah,
beat
but
up.
look at the bottom.
If you ever, well, they could have been resold too. But I mean, theoretically, they don't look as worn. I mean, they're worn, but not worn out. Like a lot of her shoes that, like dance shoes, were like tap shoes. You wear them till they fall apart. You
Yeah.
know, they're tough. All right, so next item up for bids.
Before we go on, I have a question about Liberace. Someone wanted to know if you know when the last time your mother talked to him before his passing.
Oh, they spoke right up to the end. She was one of the few. I don't know what everybody did, but there were people. If you remember those days, people were paranoid about AIDS.
Yeah.
And so people were like, you didn't want to shake your hand or anything. So people, he was reclusive at the time, and she stayed his friend to the end. My mom with that.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
thing with Rock Hudson and others. My mother was right at the forefront of being accepting of all of that. And she was the first person I heard who was down on the people that were trying to make that into a bad thing.
Isn't that
I
ironic?
mean, it is a bad thing, but I
Your
mean,
mom and
when they treated
Elizabeth
people.
Taylor
Both.
were both, at the forefront of that, and it's just ironic, and I love it.
Your mom did, and we can run that footage one day. She did actually the first AIDS fundraiser that a celebrity has ever done in 1983.
It doesn't
with
surprise me
Shirley
because
MacLaine.
her attitude would have been there. I'm sure there were people who said this is not a good idea. It's people are down on this right now, and she would have been. You don't understand. These are my friends.
Yeah.
So my mother was a very loyal friend and stayed by her friends. And then all of a sudden that condition spread. In terms of people started realizing a lot of things that people were dying from were AIDS. A lot of people before that wouldn't be diagnosed with AIDS. And so there were a lot of people dying and they didn't really know what it was. They'd call it immune disorder or other names. Anyway, she was, I remember one day, I like telling the story because she says, I was recording and I'd been recording all week long, every day. And I had just gotten back to the house that I lived on off Coldwater Canyon. And it was a Friday, and it was late, and I was so burnt out. I was like, oh, I'm so finally done with this week, She calls me, she says, I want you to come with Elizabeth and I tomorrow to San Francisco to an AIDS march. And, here's what it sounded like. she's like, what's the problem? Well, I mean, I've been working all week and I'm kind of fried, and it's not like my dream to go march with a bunch of gay people in San Francisco. Silence.
I would imagine.
And then she goes like this. I never thought I would see the day where I'd have to call my son a bigot. Okay, what time are we leaving? So there I was.
Changed your consciousness.
It did, but I mean,
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, it was a selfish concept, but I was tired. Looking back on it, I'm glad she messed with me. I have to admit, I don't think I've ever had my ass pinched that much in any short period of time, ever.
Well, let's just look at it this way. That was a good thing to do, and
Well, it
the
changed-
big?
it
There's
did-
no big deal about getting your ass pinched.
No, I mean, I had already decided I knew how to deal with that. I had figured that one out because I was around that a lot, and I had figured that one out.
Yeah.
Not to offend anybody.
Yeah.
My line is simple. So for those of you guys that have ever had this happen to you, here's how you handle that. You just simply say, listen, man, I wish that did it for me. But, and if I were ever going to go that way, you would be the first one.
That was the line.
That was my line. It worked every time.
Yeah.
They were flattered. I get off the hook. No one feels bad. And they don't pinch my ass anymore. So there was an upside.
Yeah. I have to say, living through that time,
I do. My butt has been very much a topic with you, too.
Yes.
You say I have a...
It's cute.
It's a cute butt.
Yes.
So imagine what it was like when I was 20,
yep.
right?
It was an interesting time, 79 and 80. I lived in New York City at the time I was doing my first soap. And, it was tragic. And I'm,
Terrible. what
Yeah,
happened.
just terrible.
A lot of amazing people disappeared from the arts community, and no
Mm-hmm.
one knew precisely why. That when we did, there was tremendous judgment that came from the world.
Yep.
That was horrible. And my favorite biblical phrase is, judge not lest ye be judged.
I actually think that's my favorite.
It's one of my favorites
Yeah.
because I love to say I'm not in that business. You can get in that business if you think you could toss the first stone, but I'm not getting in the judgment business. That would be for somebody else, like, how about God?
Yeah, exactly.
know.
Okay, we're going to move along so we don't go too far over tonight because that's
This
the
is
goal.
your clip that's coming up, so we're not saying
boy.
anything.
All right, so I don't have any idea what it is.
This is so this is very R-rated for all of you that haven't seen it. So we'll just go right into it. It's one of I'm sure Kat probably just doesn't remember doing this, but you'll see.
Oh boy.
Lindsay Rappaport has wreaked havoc on just about everyone in Lambview, including myself. Even I had a turn. Take a look.
You didn't really love me. You just pretended to. Like you pretended to be Colin. To scare me. To trick me. To make a fool out of me. The whole time, you were in love with her. Wake up!
I'm awake. Please welcome my friend, Catherine Hickland.
I didn't mean it. You made me
Couldn't
do
eat
it.
lunch for like a week and a half, but eat through a straw. But that's okay.
That's all right. You like soft carrots. It worked. It was good. I love that clip. I just love it. I never tire of seeing me
Of seeing me
slap
get
you
beat
silly.
up.
That's right.
It's very nice, very nice. You came to the One Life Clip. You're only supposed to be on for one episode or two
Oh,
episodes?
yes,
something like
that's really true. I was just called for one show. They said they didn't know if it was going to actually be any more than that. They didn't think so. And so I said, sure. I hadn't worked in a while, so I was really excited to, do something that was different, a different show. I'd watched One Life to Live for 18 years before I was on it. So for me, when I went on and they gave me 3 more shows, then they gave me a few more shows, then they signed me to my 3-year contract, which I finished. But it just goes to show you that dreams really do come true. I felt like a big contest winner that won a contest and found myself in Landview. I mean, it was really that exciting for me.
Now, how many years ago was it that you were on Broadway?
I opened in Les Mis in 1995. I was doing Loving at the same time, so that killed me, but it was worth it.
But you set your mind to that, and you trained with a coach for how long?
Well, I didn't start studying voice till I was 34.
See, I love the story.
Yeah.
You just set your mind to this,
Right.
and you did it, and you were on Broadway in Les Mis.
Right.
I mean, that's so amazing. People need to know that if you put your mind to something, no
Right.
matter what it is, you can do it.
Well, I'm a firm believer that we can change anything at any time. I mean, we really can. We can at least begin the process of changing anything in our life at any time. If you don't like the play, then change the dialogue and certainly change the scenery. I mean, you have to do whatever you have to do to make your dreams come true. I mean, you have to have a goal and you have to focus and you have to not look at the big picture and want to get there tomorrow. It's all about knowing what it is you want and how some people say, well, I don't know what I want. Well, what are you passionate about? What would make you happy? Because we work so many hours. Americans are exhausted. No one's working 40 hours a week anymore. All of you, I'm sure, understand that it's not a 40-hour work week. It's a 50, it's a 60-hour work week. And if you're on a soap, it's 170. So it's like, but you better love what you do.
I agree.
Pick your life and make that goal to have that life that you choose because, you'll find your absolute joy inside of that.
You also have a cosmetics company, Cat Cosmetics.
Yes, I do. Cat Cosmetics.
How'd that come about?
I love women. I love beauty. I was a makeup artist when I started out as an actress, and it's really a great way for me to connect with women one-on-one. I teach makeup at my makeup studio in New York. I do my own makeup for the show in 8 minutes, so I can teach any woman
On
how
the
to...
show? 8
yeah.
minutes?
He's watched
While
me.
she's running lines with Dr. McIver. Come on in, we'll run lines. I'm just gonna put on my makeup.
Yeah, Ty has watched me put my 8-minute makeover, and believe you me, it's a makeover. If you saw me without makeup, I mean, really, it's unbelievably different. It is.
I can do it myself now.
Oh my gosh, I love him. And Lisa Rinna is a huge star on Bravo. She's one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, and she looks pretty much the same. And
that was Ty Treadway, who I've met before.
you met Ty because he's come here. We have the same birthday, so remember he was here a few years ago when we had a big birthday party.
Still looks the same.
He looks
fantastic.
Oh, he
And
looks
you
incredible.
Still look the same. It's all frozen in time.
Thanks, but it was just that storyline
why
was
is the
great.
camera moving?
Camera's moving.
Your camera just moved
Mine did?
completely.
Yeah.
I'll go see what's happening.
Okay, that was one of my favorite storylines when I there I am. I'm getting there. When I tied him
headphones
to
are
the
on the
wheel
camera.
and tortured him. She was so nuts, that character, and it was just a blast to play. Just a wonderful and great honor to be a part of the history of that show. And thank you to everybody who watched it because
Put them right here.
we had a blast. It was complicated. It was wonderful. I ended up spending almost 12 years there, and seeing that just made me have all these feels. It was really good. So, did you pick that, Seth?
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, the struggle has been that we have stuff on you, but we don't have things just like.
Well, the problem is we have a ton of things that we can't
do.
show because of rights, and so anything that's on a talk show apparently is okay.
Well, it's a
We'll
little.
be putting that whole soap talk on our Patreon because it's a full hour of you and Ty and Lisa. And so that'll be on our Patreon channel, which is called Behind the Stage Doors with Kat and Todd Live on patreon.com. That is patreon.com Behind the Stage Doors. And we're offering access to all of our digitized archives. And yeah, it's really cool. You guys should check it out if you can. And it's really, really fun. And we put new stuff on each week between Kat and Debbie and Todd and Carrie. It's really great. So check it out.
So if you want to see the unedited or longer versions
Correct.
of things, that's where they're posted. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make some changes, by the way, to Patreon. We just haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. But
Well, let's talk about it after the changes are made.
well, there'll be changes, so it'll make it easier for people to join and get more people over there. We're going to make it more affordable. We're going to make it more interesting. I mean, it's the material is there. We just apparently we're not getting people over there to. I mean, there's not very many people that are taking advantage of it, and I know
Of the big one.
Of the big one. And
Yeah.
I think it's because it's too expensive based on my research. So we are going to make it more affordable.
Well, I'm always about that, so that's
I
great.
have some comments for you, Kat.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying, well, that you're just a beautiful person inside and out.
Aw,
And
thank
that,
you.
which I agree that you still look the same. I have one question, Kat. Do you miss New York? And if so, would you go back often?
No, I don't miss New York because it's not the same city that I left. I lived there in the most exciting time. I moved there in 1980 to do my first show. And then I lived in Los Angeles, and then I lived in Italy. And then I moved back to New York City in 1992. And it was just incredible. But I left because it was already starting to change. When you are young and you go to New York City, there's this hum that goes on underneath you. It is unlike anything you can imagine or was. And when you're young and have a ton of energy and everything, that's great. And then as you get older and you're working, it's not even about getting older, it's just as you get more settled and grounded and you're in a groove, that becomes tiring, that hum and that buzz underneath you all the time. It was very expensive then. It's still expensive now.
But New
And
York
so
City
I was okay to leave it. I left it because I wanted to.
I think New York City used to be like LA in the sense that it's the most creative environment.
Yeah.
So some of the most creative people, which means creative and productive.
Yeah.
So these people would get together with all these wild ideas, and they would make. I got an idea. Let's do a show. I mean, and then they would make it happen. And maybe it goes to off-Broadway or Connecticut. Maybe it gets onto Broadway. Maybe you're just in a club. But there was so many shows going on in New York at any given time. It's so much talent. And that energy was so amazing. And that is why I am not thrilled about the direction it has taken.
Right.
Because
but you know what? Without even talking about any of that, I mean, the truth is that it was an exciting place. I haven't been there in so many years. I really
Well,
don't.
we were there together
no,
when I did
when
my
your
book
book
tour.
came out, we went.
And there obviously were a lot of shows there. We went to a couple of
No,
shows.
I love going to shows. The thing is, I moved here for a reason, because it's the same. It's the entertainment capital of the world. I wanted to be somewhere that was easy to get in and out of. I wanted to be somewhere that would match my new life, because I was starting a new career and I was learning, doing a new show. And I needed to be where things were live. It was so inexpensive to live here then. When I moved here, I could not believe what I could buy.
Right.
And I was, because
Now
New
that's
York is
not
crazy.
true
It's
anymore.
not- no, it
to
isn't.
well, it's still like LA to this is still inexpensive.
Yeah.
But it used to be radical. Like we'd tell our friends, this house is $400,000. They're like, what? I could have a 3-car garage, 6-bedroom house for $400,000. Is like, but not anymore.
No.
But it's not. It's still not LA. Like LA, $1 million you get a dump.
Yeah. But anyway, I love New York and I loved living there. But I always know when it's time to leave. I always know that. I've always had an instinct for that. And I needed to go somewhere new, and I wanted to go somewhere. And I never imagined I'd live in Las Vegas. So, but I do love it here too.
You what's interesting about that transition too. Now, of course, you had a big apartment, but I had a brownstone, and we were talking. I lived in a brownstone with my mother.
Yeah.
And Carrie, and I remember we were talking about sizes of houses and things like that. And I said to you, well, how big do you think a brownstone is? And you were like, oh, it was a big, giant house. I was like, it's the width of our bedroom, that whole house.
Yeah, they just seem bigger because the
But you
ceilings
don't
are
need
high.
It. It's like we're happy in the RV, and that's only 10 feet wide.
Oh,
and
you know
8
what?
feet when you're popped in.
I honestly do not get attached to things. I never have, because things come and go, and I get attached to people. So when I'm happy pretty much anywhere I am, but the RV really is magical. I have to say, it really is.
But look at how little space required to be really happy in. I mean, an RV, even a big one like we have, is still not even 500 square feet. You know, it's not, when it's popped out, it's probably a little over 500
Yeah.
square feet. But that just shows you, and it's all you need.
Well, it's the heart that's in it, and that's what any home is.
Well, but
isn't
it's
it?
also a design feature. I mean, they maximize space usage. Things are very convenient.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, nice. So you can really make do without, you know, brings me back to New York. You know, people live in smaller spaces,
Yep.
but you can make that space pretty amazing. So it's not about like how big is my house, although it is cool when you can say, wow, look what I got. I got this giant space all of a sudden. Now, we use a lot of space here, but it's mainly because of all the stuff that my mother left me with.
Yes.
So it's more about stuff.
I don't like being owned by stuff, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? That was part of that was a side that came with the dinner. That is you. So, you know,
Well, but
but
you
I
got some-
myself, you know, find the older I get, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, you want to shed and shed. You want to make your life lighter. You want to make your journey easier
I have
that
no
way.
idea what you're talking about.
I know.
I have no
Speaking of
idea.
stuff, I have a question about stuff.
Yeah.
Someone, Frank Molina, who is a very avid watcher, and he donated to us. So thank you very much,
Thank
Frank.
you,
and
Frank,
to
and
the
all of you
people
who donate,
Who have
yes.
donated tonight. Yes, just to let any of you know, because some people are new here tonight, and you guys might
Oh,
wonder
welcome.
why we are having donations. Well, it's because we do a lot of legacy projects with the archives. I mean, we spend hours and hours a week, you know, transcoding things, digitizing things, finding things. I mean, I'm looking and I see your mother's French horn from 1948 is right in front of me. So restoring things. And so those donations, just know that everything does go towards legacy projects like that. And we're so grateful. But Frank wants to know, Todd.
Yes.
What happened to the jewelry that Elizabeth left Debbie in her will?
We still have it.
We still have it.
Yep, we still have it. It's actually in our little safe.
You know,
And,
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
so we were doing a recording session here the other day, and the lady, we had a French horn player come in, a very, very top studio musician in town, and she said, oh, I heard your mother, I know your mother was a French horn player, you know, in high school. And I said, yeah, I still have her French horn. She goes, oh my God, I'd love to see it. So we went and dug it out for her, and she played it. And she was like, it actually still plays pretty good. Now, I'm not a horn player, but. So it's still, you know, I don't play horns.
Sounds like a Viking mating call.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I could do it. You know, when they're calling for the hounds
To go to battle.
That's like the hound thing, doo 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 doo, or an old English movie. French horns are beautiful, but anyway, this was my mom, so you know it's kind of cool. We have pictures of her in high school with this, and later in 2 movies, Daughter of Rosie O'Grady.
And 2 weeks.
2 Weeks with Love. She plays the French horn there. Oh, so and that's the one where she hits the bad note, and it's campy. Anyway, so for those of you that have ever seen my mom's French horn, there it is. It's in good shape, and she said it still plays good. Now, keep in mind, we didn't have money growing up, so this was not like the most expensive instrument. So there obviously would be better French horns, but not one owned by the mama. So anyway, I don't know how we got into that, but
All right.
oh, she said, you asked a question. You said there it is,
About,
sitting
well,
there.
we were explaining about our legacy projects and pieces like that, but yes, no, the question was about Elizabeth's jewelry, and you had answered
Yeah,
that.
so we have a couple of pieces that my mom was given by Liz, and I don't know. I wish they could have spent more time together in the end there. You know, so not because we would have got more jewelry, but they were so cute together later on in life. I mean, when they were little, of course, they would have been cute together, but you know, they grew up together literally, and then they remained friends to the very end. And when they were both getting up there, you know, they stayed in touch, and Carrie wrote that script, These Old Broads. If you haven't seen that, I encourage you to watch that film, especially if you're asking questions about Debbie and Liz and that sort of thing. There's a tremendous scene in there written by my sister, a forgiveness scene between Liz and my mom. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
She was awesome. Off we go.
Before we move on to
Before
our
we go.
final clip, I have a question from John Eric St. James, who donated to us, so I want to get to
I love my John
that.
Eric.
Yes, he was wondering, Todd, do you have a 3D camera, and what do you think of the 3D craze of the 50s and 60s when it first came out?
Well, I mean, 3D cameras in the early days. This is around the Cinerama time when they first started doing it. It was a cool novelty, and yeah, I remember people in the theater kind of reaching forward. They had their little red and green lens on, and you know, it was a novelty. I don't, you know, I never felt that it had a future that was ever going to take hold. I never did. And even right now, you know, Apple comes up with their virtual glasses, and they're really cool and everything, and they're not. But again, I just, it's almost like a novelty thing. I'm not sure of the future of these things. I don't see people wearing giant headsets or red and green lenses or polarizing lenses on their glasses. It never has taken hold. I've always felt it's a bit of a novelty. It's an effect. It can be cool, but to me, it's almost a distraction to the story because it's just not perfect. And the way I could say it's not perfect is because we all know what 3D looks like. We live in a realm, like right now, I'm in a three-dimensional environment here, and everything is perfect, and there's no way to do that on a two-dimensional screen that is effective to this day. So it's always had limited appeal, but I think there's some really great campy things that have been done with it. You know, I actually did a 3D telethon one time, and I actually said, I reached into the 3D environment and said, give us your money, you know, and your hand reaches into the home, right here, put it in my hand. I mean, again, novelty, right? It's just fun stuff. So, off we go.
Off we go. Well, the last clip I found
more questions.
for
No,
tonight. Well,
clip.
we may have more questions, but this clip in particular, we found this really cool, and some of you might remember it. I'm sure you know, Todd, that Carrie did this great TV program on Oxygen TV when that was a thing, and cable. She did this thing called Conversations from the Edge, being a take on postcards, and she snagged your mother for an interview.
Oh,
which is
I love this
quite the
show.
interesting footage and topic. So I pulled kind of a highlight reel.
Well, and I also think from what I saw, it looked like we had the unedited footage as well. So it wasn't just what was broadcast.
I pulled from the edited, but yes, we have.
Well,
the
we have
unedited.
both, so that gets even more interesting. What's going on that,
Yes.
that hit the editing room floor.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah.
All right, rock and roll. Here we go.
Two sleepy people.
Well, you have to pay for those things, so you shouldn't sing it.
I do?
Uh-huh.
I don't think on cable
I think
you get
do.
a big discount.
We do get a discount.
No, you have to pay for it,
do
so
have
it's
to pay.
better not to sing.
I don't think I sing
I would have said
correct.
short people ain't got... No, you're not supposed to sing that, you know. I'm shorter than she is.
No, she's a quarter of an inch taller, and
Oh, no, it's not true.
currently...
She has bigger breasts.
Hello. We're here with a woman who alleges to be my mother. I don't buy it for a minute, but this is how we'll find out.
I have proof.
You have films.
I have films and I have a certificate.
Who taught you about the facts of life then?
Nobody. When Mother married Daddy, she thought no one had told her about intercourse or marriage or, just they were going to be friends, I suppose, was it. And then Daddy was 11 years older, and she thought the reason that they could get married is that she would have her own bureau drawer now, because, the house was one bedroom, Grandma and Grandpa and all the kids in the other bedroom. So now she'd have her own dresser drawer. And I remember that Daddy told me he spent 3 weeks drawing sketches of a male and a female. He drew sketches for my mother, so not to terrify her about the situation. When he realized that my mother didn't know that there was some sort of something might
Other than the dresser drawers.
happen. Well, something might pop up. So he thought he better draw sketches. So he did that for 3 weeks.
Did you ever see the sketches?
No.
I missed my sketches.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll draw them again now.
You can't draw.
But I can try.
Oh, that'll be great.
I'll try. Well, I've never really seen it.
It'll make a coffee table
It's easy.
book.
The words. Oh, yes, it will. Etchings by Reynolds.
Yes, the sketches of life.
I explained everything to you. You just don't remember.
You told me that it was called The Staff of Life, and its friends were called the Grapes.
You make up such good things for me. I swear, that's terrific.
Now,
I'm so glad.
I can't make that up.
No,
I
but
tried.
I don't think
So
I-
hard.
The staff
All
of
right.
life and the friends of great.
You didn't say friends. You just said the staff of life and the Grapes. I was 15. We were in New York.
Oh,
really, I
well,
have
15.
films that I show right after
15.
she shows the film of when I'm happy.
That's
I show the staff of life and the Grape film.
You were 16.
Okay.
And I did say staff.
Okay, it was last week. You.
I think, but when you were saying, I thought you were talking about when you were like 11.
No, I don't think
When
I
you
was
were a
told anything.
Mature adult, yes. So
I've never been a mature adult.
mature. You have been mature all your life. You have always been an old child. Whether you're crazy, means happy crazy. You've always been. First, you were very happy. I took pictures, I told you. Until you were about 13, 11. 11 o'clock, it started drifting. You started analyzing people. Mother, why are they so boring? I don't want to be with them anymore. I said, well, but why? They're your best friends. I know, but did you notice they're just so boring? I'm going to go play with the dog or the cat, and we didn't have them. So then you had to go for a swim. I said, well, I don't know why, dear. It just seemed you started to, change and be on your own, be more quiet, write more. I don't know how many tablets can you buy a child. And then you became more reclusive. I mean, you never wanted to do gym anyway. You never did gym. We were always writing notes for you for gym.
What are the notes? The notes were the notes saying I had insomnia and I had to sleep in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, you didn't sleep. You never slept. You came out and stayed up, vaginally speaking.
Oh.
I'm sorry for you. You just
I'm
came
sorry
out
for
and
me
you went
too.
wide awake. You were awake since you were born. You couldn't sleep. You never could sleep. I think that's one of the problems, and it comes and it manifests
It's
itself.
the trauma of
birth.
Vaginal
You should
birth.
remember that. It's not
You know what
true.
you did at dinner?
Maybe you blocked everything
I'm
good.
trying.
Well, that's
You're
another
not
book, then.
helping matters.
Well, I'll just help you write another book.
Oh, that would be great. At the end of the meal, you would say, now we'll just sit together and visit.
Yes.
I know, and now I cannot sit at a dinner table.
But that's
This is
not
the
my
horror of
fault.
visiting.
Why?
Everything is your fault.
Well, it should be. Yes.
Okay, I've been told by people in the know
Oh, the ones that I have to pay, the psychiatrist that I pay.
that she has to pay.
Mm-hmm.
She has to pay and bought me my clothes.
Well, not for years, but of course,
Initially.
20 years.
No, it's Eddie's. Maybe it's no one's fault.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
No, they don't. Actually, they don't.
It's not fun that way. It's not in the tabloids.
No, they don't.
You
they
just
don't.
have to try to concentrate on the fact that you did have sometimes good times.
I know that I did. I had a very good time.
See how you yelled at your mother?
All right. We have to stop, as my therapist likes to say.
Can't you say goodnight, George, and I'll say goodnight, Gracie?
Then we look in your notes to see if there's any
It's there.
suggestion.
It's George, Burns, and Gracie
over the
used to
end.
have a little.
But that's not original, Mother.
Oh, I know, but it shouldn't be. It should be just simply funny. It's slightly amusing
Why
to you.
continue working so hard?
That's enough of that.
Okay.
Say goodnight.
Good night, and thank you for joining us here around our family
Quiet moment.
hearth.
All right.
Oh, I just
now
love
you have
that.
some idea of what became my job. This is classic stuff. When it's uncomfortable, the two of them, the way they interact with each other is abnormal, at least from my perspective. I was constantly,
However, entertaining.
well, I'm not diminishing the entertainment value or how much they get paid for doing all that, but the truth is that they are like, the interaction is not easy. The tension, you could cut it. I used to have to intervene all the time. It was like, hey, now. I mean, what are you doing? And in this case, because the cameras are rolling, which now you can imagine there were a few times where the camera wasn't rolling, but the tension is there. I mean, you feel that tension. This is before they really kind of reconnected, properly, and the judgment stopped.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I felt that tension because by the time I came into this family, that was all done.
We had worked on that for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but my mother is right about some of what's being said. I don't know anything about the Staff of Life and the grapes. That's Carrie's story. I never heard anything like that. I think it's a brilliant story, and my mother should just own it because it's hilarious, rather than trying to say, I don't remember saying that. But Carrie's position, on blaming my mother was very real for a long time. I mean, and it wasn't just me, there were analysts that were trying to get her off of all that.
Yeah.
And you could see right here, she's kind of at that transition point where she actually says, maybe it's nobody's fault. Like, do we really need to assign blame to all of this? But I have to tell you, it's like, it was weird to watch this because I haven't seen that in years. We did use a lot of the sound in Bright Lights.
I recognized it.
But that tension was no fun, man. It could come up at any moment, and I would have to step in the middle like a referee.
And how many years did that last?
It went from It started at the Greenway House at 13 years old, and part of that was brought on. I had no. Part of it had to do with when my mother said that we couldn't do our own opening show for the Frontier Hotel, like Donnie and Marie kind of stuff, and Carrie started getting mad at my mother about that. You saw Carrie's attitude there when my mother brought up the fact that she paid for the therapist. Well, she didn't mean like right at that moment, but for a decade, my mother paid for the therapist, So Carrie used to hate it when my mother would say, I paid for this, or what do you think parents do? I mean, why is this such a big deal that your parent paid for whatever? I mean, what child didn't have something paid for by their parent? I don't know. I mean, it was like, why are you so uptight about the idea that your mother paid for anything? And
well, everybody has different triggers, and
Yeah, but but they're not healthy.
Well,
it'd be one thing if it was some kind of a trigger and we think, ha, 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 isn't this funny? Isn't this fun to remember these things? But that's not what's happening. There's there's like pain and hurt, and she's suffering over this, and there's this tension. So all I can tell you is that it was not fun to watch a lot of that.
I bet, because that was gone between them. They had when I came along. By the time I came along, Carrie was gone a lot. I mean, she was gone a lot.
It was gone.
But they got along really well.
Right. It was gone and it was a very simple situation. What had happened is Carrie had the epiphany of a couple of things. The first thing is, it doesn't matter. And she figured out that my mother loves her unconditionally, and the judgment that she thinks she's feeling isn't really judgment. It's more like a mother concerned about, don't fall in the hole that I just fell in 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. There it is. Don't follow me in there. Whatever. There was all of this beautiful stuff that a mom wants to do for her child. And you could resent it or you can embrace it and have fun with it. And eventually Carrie figured it out.
I remember
50 years,
thinking,
but she figured it out.
Because I would talk for hours to your mom about all of the past and everything, and the present and even the future. We spent so much time deep talking, and she loved it because she wasn't used to it. Your mom was like, this is so foreign to me because Carrie and I don't have these conversations because she just wasn't geared that way. And that's okay, but for your mom, it was really very interesting, that we would have these incredibly deep conversations about life and about the psyche and about all that. And and it was interesting because
I bet it was good for you though too, because your mom wouldn't talk to you that way either.
Well, my mom didn't. Yes, my mom was not a big deep talker, but it's not a criticism. It's just that some people aren't, and right. That's some people like to keep everything light. I'm a very deep thinker and talker, and that's what I enjoy because I love getting into what makes people tick, So, but Carrie was very protective of your mom in those last few years that they were on this earth. She was incredibly always cognizant of your mom's image and not letting anyone see her,
I was appreciative of that, though.
Yeah, she was very much like that. She did not
have that till later. That never existed.
Yeah, but that was very much in play.
You see it in Bright Lights, actually, that we filmed that scene, a couple of scenes there, but when we were arriving to the SAG Awards, and Carrie's, worried about my mother and how she's going to come
She
across.
was a wreck
She was
that
a wreck
night.
over it.
Yeah.
And there was not much you could do about it, so she stressed out heavy about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm so glad that everything turned out and that they left this planet in a great place. That makes me really happy.
Well, and hopefully people can watch these struggles and learn from that too. I mean, that's why we did Bright Lights. It does show the journey, to all this. There's so much more that can be done. I mean, that could have been 10 parts if we wanted to. That's why I ended up writing my book, which could be 20 parts on a series. So these stories are complex and they're very relatable to non-famous people. It's just these are conditions that everybody experiences.
Yeah. Well, life, it doesn't matter what your station because it's all the same, really, at the base bottom level. So that's why I love talking about this stuff. It's really important. So it is time
And
to...
speaking of stuff.
Yeah?
You just said stuff. You don't like talking about this stuff. And I said, speaking of stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking
Also,
of stuff,
wait a minute. Was there
is-
something I was supposed to show tonight?
I brought it, but you don't have to.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll do that another night. Yeah, it's a cool show and tell piece, but we'll
you
do
need to
that
spend
another
some time
night.
with it.
Yeah, we're running a little late, so I want to make sure that we get to the really.
We're
I
just
love
on
this
time.
part,
We're just on time. You're good.
We're just on time. Good. All right. So this is the chat wheel, and the chat wheel, by the way, is got everybody who participated tonight in conversation. So your name was put on this wheel. We will pick 4 winners off this wheel. We call them wieners here, and all the names are right there on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and have Ryan spin
Well,
it.
wait.
What?
So the pick doing 4 names.
Yeah.
For people that chatted, and they're
And
gonna
then,
win
so we have
something.
4 winners. You didn't have to do
there's the
anything
first
except
winner,
chat.
right there.
The first winner, and so Marcia, I think is that supposed to be Marcia Tajader, or is that Marcia
Trader,
Trader?
T-R-A-D-E-R.
Well, we have someone named Marcia Tajader, so I just want to make sure.
Yes, that's who it is.
Okay, Marcia Tajader, right? Right?
Yeah, he's saying it's a typo.
Okay, so Marcia
Yes.
Tajader. See, I know all of our people's
Everybody,
names.
it's unbelievable.
I know. It's this weird
It is
mind I
weird.
have that I have a photographic memory. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, in certain categories, and, I don't know.
no,
see,
I don't even know how I know some things.
Well, but you have a photographic memory in certain categories, and I have a photographic memory in 1 or 2 categories, but not in every category. So I don't know if it's still, like I can remember all the stuff.
You can't. I remember every conversation I've ever had.
But you remember people's names like nobody I've ever seen.
I don't
You
know
have
what
an
it is.
extraordinary
Anyway,
ability.
Marcia Tajader, I'm going to name out the prizes after this, okay? All right, number 2 winner is it John Hustetler? Hi, John. They just got back to Las Vegas. I can't wait to see you. Congratulations, you're winner number 2. I will go ahead and tell you what that is as soon as I go to number 3. I'm not even sure I know what it is. But Seth will keep me apprised on that. Sharon Cleland, you're on now. James Leach, did you see that? It was like, it jumped right into James. Sharon, you came super close. James Leach, you got it. Wow, that was just like
And the
by a
fourth one
hair.
is?
And the 4th one is, James Leach, congratulations. I'll tell you what you want in a second. All right. Oh my gosh. Frank Ferruccio, you are a wiener. I didn't even know Frank was here tonight. I haven't had a chance
Well,
to look at
he
the
doesn't
group.
always comment like directly to you. I was going to say what we're doing tonight that's different is we're doing all the same for change, and we're doing gift certificates to the studio store. Am I right?
Correct.
I'm right. So we just discussed this the other day. So $25.
Yes, so everybody who won tonight, congratulations. You will be getting a $25 gift certificate to the Debbie Reynolds Studio Store. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's actually a super fun place because we have tons of different pieces of memorabilia from Debbie, Carrie, Todd, Kat's personal collections of all the things that they've collected that we want to share with all of you. So if you go on there and check it out, you can get a $25 we will send you, just email catandtoddlive@gmail.com. Let us know that you won. We'll send you the gift certificate. And I do believe if you're a first-time buyer, you also get a discount with that $25 gift certificate.
Well, and you can save the gift certificate and put it towards something in the future if you don't see something you need right this minute. But part of the reason why we've decided to do the gift certificates is maybe you guys have been paying attention. I know you have, but I haven't been until I saw it. But the shipping costs are outrageous for certain things. So
well, for everything.
We're trying to skip a step. Like, we don't want to send something to somebody they don't necessarily need or want, and you pay all that money for shipping and the item itself. So this way people could pick something they really want, and it sort of skips a potential skip of having something that you don't need or want. That was just, and we can also do Cat Cosmetics the same way when you feel like having a Cat Cosmetics gift certificate.
Yes, and if that gift certificate doesn't work for you tonight, if you want to do a Cat, well, you keep it. But also, if there's something you really want from my company,
Oh, we would take that.
Yes,
that's a good point. So we have a currency exchange system here, just like just like they do in big. When you travel, you can go to the little booth and you can exchange currencies. We can allow currency exchange here, so you can trade Cat Cosmetics for
the studio store. Yeah, the Debbie Reynolds studio store.
And it's one-to-one. We don't have any exchange losses.
That's
you don't
right.
lose 10%.
So whatever you want, it's either you just let us know by writing Cat and Todd Live at Gmail, Cat and Todd Live at gmail.com.
Now explain what the...
okay, so now we're going on to the Super Wheel. For all of you who donated last week, you are on tonight's Super Wheel. And so the Super Wheel is, of course, less names. You have a greater chance of winning. Thank you for everybody who donated tonight. You will be on our production crawl at the end of the show tonight, and you will be on next week's Super Wheel. We are about to pick a winner from tonight's
and then we'll
Super
tell you
Wheel.
what it is.
And we'll tell you what it is. So, Ryan?
I also add that the people who donated tonight will also be on Everything's next week.
Yes,
so
it's
they'll
delayed
be on the
1 week.
next week, and they'll be on the crawl next week.
Oh, okay, that's right, because we're
1 week delay.
we're short a producer tonight, so we're.
Well, even still, no, that's how we do it anyway.
It is. I don't know. I missed the memo, so sorry about that, everybody.
All right, rock and roll.
Okay, so let's do the music there. I love this part. Ryan, you're such a genius. I love this. I know. Short. Oh my gosh. Jordan Lee.
Jordan Lee.
I didn't even know you were here tonight, Jordan. He got married here a few weeks ago.
Actually, this may be something he might like.
Well, I think so. I'm looking at it and I see what it is, but
okay.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Go to the close-up camera and I will show you what it is. Close-up camera. All right, here we go. I think this is one of the best Frank Worth Monroe pictures.
I love all of his work.
Well, but this particular
that's
one
gorgeous.
is stunning.
Yeah.
I wish you could see how sharp it is. It's beautiful. I want to say it's from Gentlemen for Blondes or Let's Make Love. Oh,
How to Marry a Millionaire.
How to Marry a Millionaire.
Yeah.
She's on the back lot there at Fox, it looks like to me. You see the Frank Worth estate stamp. So this is the beginning of Jordan's collection of Frank Worth prints. So I think what we're doing there is we are, these could be worth, I see them when they do sell. Sometimes they go for hundreds of dollars on eBay and other places. So this is a really nice way to begin a collection of high-end. These are photographic prints, not digital reprinting that goes on.
Yep.
And so there's a fun item for you, Jordan, who doesn't have everything, but we're getting him in that right direction. He's not really a collector of memorabilia.
Yes, he is.
Is he?
What does he collect? He has a lot of autograph things, he loves that. Yes, he actually does collect things.
Well, I always try to encourage everybody to to find your little niche, things that turn you on about collecting. My grandmother collects sewing thimbles.
Yes, we still have them.
Of course we have them. But there are, and she collected the little Hummel figures, which I was never a big fan of, those little porcelain Hummel figures. But whatever turns you on. Some people like the Hollywood memorabilia because it has sort of like multiple meanings potentially, where your favorite star, your favorite movie, whatever. So obviously that turns us on. And there's all different levels, so you can get in to inexpensive collecting and then graduate to better stuff. I mean, you see what happened to Ryan. Ryan started probably with a couple
Ryan,
little
make
Star
yourself
Wars things.
seen so we can see your walls
Yeah,
and your.
no, he has some other thing up in the background there.
Oh,
He's getting ready to run the crawl. But
Oh, okay.
Did you have yourself there, Ryan? He's going to try to fix his background.
There he is. I feel him entering the room.
But we don't see his
I'm
collection.
here, but you can't see any of my stuff because I'm not in my usual spot.
You actually look like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
That's the lighting. It's the lighting.
You look
It's
like
the lighting.
you look like Patrick Swayze in the final scene of Ghost.
It's the Lucille Ball
I'm
Vaseline.
just not in my regular place, so I'm trying to disguise where I am.
But let me ask you the question: where did it begin? You're collecting. What was your first couple items? And when?
It started with action figures.
Okay.
Because
were you
I
10
had
years
the ones
old,
I
or
had
were
from
you?
a kid.
How old were you?
No, I had the one. How old was I when 5 years old when Star Wars came out?
Okay,
so
so
I
you
got the action figures and I had all of the stuff. Unfortunately, I opened them all and played with them all. Had I known not to do that at 5. But then, I started to eventually see the value in like not opening them and just kind of keeping them. And I would look at them and they would remind me of maybe a certain time. They had a nostalgic factor. And and I don't know why I would go into a store and pick things up. But I did.
So when did you drift from action figures into signatures and posters and other things?
COVID.
Aha.
Really?
Yeah, because
I didn't know.
were
So it's
in
more
Arizona
Wow.
because they were doing all of these shows on the internet. And
Oh, that's
my brother was
right.
into it, and then I started watching and getting into it, and I started with a few, and then I wanted more, and then it just becomes that collector's thing, like, I want them all.
I want them all.
And if you
I
have
don't
you
have that one.
and have you left instructions in case a bus falls on you what to do with all of this stuff?
Oh, I have an Excel sheet now. You don't even want to know. I started with a few because I remember someone I was going to trade. I wanted a Cyndi Lauper, and I wanted to trade. And I only remember at the time she said, "Oh, send me what you have, and we can trade." And I only had like 5 or 6, and they were like really bad ones. So I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to reach a point when I have 500 pictures, and I'm going to be able to really do a big trade.
And then you would have an
that's kind of
inventory
where-
of things that you were willing to trade.
Yes. Well, the inventory is embarrassingly long. It's like I could buy a small home. It's really bad. But I love them all. I couldn't get rid of any of them.
Aw,
I think
that's a good way
I
to
think-
feel.
Well, I only wanted you to say the story because I think you're kind of a classic case of collectors that start and then they start to get that obsession about wanting to fill out so that you have every action figure, and then pretty soon you want every action figure untouched in the original packing, and then pretty soon you want the signatures of the people that were the action figure actors, and then pretty soon
That's exactly it.
and it goes on, and pretty soon you're going to be wanting the costumes that I collect.
I don't know
Well,
about that.
you
I'll
know,
look at those from afar.
it was
Wow.
good talking to you yesterday, pal.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, well, it does. Well, so is what you have. I mean, in the case of many of the things that you have, the people are gone, and you can't get more of them. So there's a responsibility to preserve all of that. The
But you
costumes.
have memorabilia. Like you have big things that are like heavy. Like, and when I say heavy, I don't mean physically heavy.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
Like, that's a responsibility.
Well, there is from a curatorial standpoint. You're trying to preserve history for future generations. That was my mother's rap. She would say, "I am preserving these things for future generations, so that the next generations of people can see these things, and they won't have dissipated for lack of care, for lack of maintenance, for lack of trust, and hopefully." Because of their value going up so much over the decades here, it's happening because of their value sometimes. But it starts back where he is. I mean, like if someone doesn't preserve those things, in another generation, those things, will be tens of thousands. I have action figures of Carrie. You've seen them. I know they're $10,000 for that original '77 Kenner Carrie, right? I mean, so my job is to preserve that little thing. I'm not into it like you are, but in my little way. But I'm preserving the costume, but I'm also preserving the little things that have been put in my trust. It's not my focus, though. He's focused. And so everybody should try it. As David Copperfield said to me, a piece of advice, he said, you got to stay in your lane as a collector. And I said, I have no idea how to do that. And it's not my fault. My mother, it was in many categories. So my lane is wide.
You have an expressway.
I have the San Diego Freeway.
Yes.
I mean, I have 6 lanes across and the express lane because of her interest to preserve so many different things. So, but you at home cannot afford what my mother was up to. Few people could or can. So that was it. Back to the
and she couldn't either at one point and was still
right.
You know what I mean? So
didn't matter.
You have to be careful.
No, it didn't matter. She was like, well, I mean, whatever. I'll go down in flames trying to preserve this stuff. And sometimes we did.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure I get this right, Ryan. All these names are from last week that we're seeing on the crawl. Okay. So if you donated,
That is correct.
if you donated tonight, you'll be on the crawl next week and on the Super Wheel next week. Also, if you liked our show tonight, please like and subscribe, and tell your friends about us, because we would love to have more people come and join us, this happy family we have on a Saturday night. And
if you get a chance, go over to the Patreon site.
Oh yeah, if you
So what's the
enjoy
name of it?
this, behind the stage door. And there you go, behind the stage door.
Doors with Kat and
If you
Todd.
go to patreon.com, yes.
It's worth
behind
looking
the
at.
stage
There's a
door
lot
with
of
Kat
cool
and Todd.
things there. And you could just pick things, unlike the show where you have to sit through all of our ranting and raving.
Yeah.
This is very isolated, specific things. You can pick a category,
And
jump down
watch.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Well, it's the ultimate rabbit hole experience.
It is the rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole, but it's a focused rabbit hole because it's in the Debbie, Carrie, Kat, Todd categories. So you're not at the same time being exposed to some of the things you would find on other rabbit holes where you could get into world history. I mean, this has got history, but not world history.
Exactly. In the meantime, just know how much we love and appreciate you, how grateful we are for you, and to be able to spend Saturday nights all together. And we have been since COVID lockdown. And imagine that. That's been quite a while now. So we've been together. Woohoo! Love you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. Some people have asked if I'm doing a show tomorrow because I wasn't able to do one last night. And I don't know yet because it just depends on how I feel when I wake up, because it's been a crazy week. So if I am, I will put that on my Facebook page. We love you guys. On behalf of Ryan Clements, myself, Todd Fisher, and Seth Robichaux, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll see you next week. All right. Good night, everybody.